Bob Pulaski, all in favor?
Aye.
Item number 3, a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 547-16, an ordinance to rezone tax parcel VP 218 owned by the Village of Pulaski, 421 South St. Augustine Street, Pulaski, Wisconsin. Number 342-D-218. It's a 23,948 square feet. Bakerly's addition, lots 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and block 6. It is 0.55 acres. The existing zoning is institutional 1, and the current use is municipal government, Old Village Hall Police Station. The proposed zoning district request is R3, single family residential district, for residential living quarters, single family with a home-based business. As per the offer to purchase and the sale of the property to the north, east, and west of the subject property, the zoning is R3, single family residential district, and south of the subject property, the zoning is R2, single family residential district. The village ordinance 51.08, R3, single-family residential district. C, permitted accessory uses. 3, home occupations and professional home offices are allowed.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
Doug?
Second.
Second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Does anyone wish to talk? If you do, any questions on the member of the board?
I think it makes a pretty good fit, being that it is surrounded by residential there. So I have no problem with it.
And there is in the audience too.
Yeah, Andy Bruin is in the audience, and we all are very grateful that you are buying the building.
Yeah, it should be good. Should be good use for it.
And Lori is here too.
Yeah. And Lori, Stefan, the realtor is here as well. Are there any questions by the board? Any?
No.
Take some before and after pictures.
Yeah, we're
Right.
taking all
Cool
the
to
way
see
through
that.
for sure. Yeah.
I just have one for my own benefit here. R3 and R2, what's the difference there? Single family, R3, like, do you know?
R3 has more of a commercial bent to it than R1 is your typical residential subdivision. R3 will have more uses in it, like multifamily, and R3 has even more. They have some slight commercial mix. So that's why this one came up as R3, because there's a commercial use to it as well.
Okay.
Right.
So,
The old beauty shop has been remodeled, and it's been also built to handle a home-based business out of it.
so in other words, the resident next to it can be an R2 and then an R3, I see, okay. Thank you.
No other questions? If there are none,
Lori, make a motion to open the floor.
Doug, second by Roger.
I just wanted to say that tomorrow morning we'll be closing with the buyer at 9 a.m. and then the proceeds check will be delivered to Reed. And I just wanted to thank you for allowing me to serve you. I appreciate your trusting in my services, and I brought gifts of token of appreciation. So if I can just do that now. I've got some gifts I want to just pass out to everybody.
Sure.
Okay. This was a long haul of we've had some challenges with this particular property, so I wanted to make sure that everyone was appreciated. So,
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah, it's an old for the deaf, yeah.
Why? Look in your yard.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren. You blame it on me.
Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome. Karen, did Kim get her? Thank you. You're welcome. You got one? I think everybody got one. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Most of the closed before.
I wanted to ask the buyer just one thing. I had a question for you.
Sure.
How familiar are you with Pulaski? Grow up here or?
No, we moved up to Suamico 4 years ago, but my wife has been teaching in your schools for the last couple of years.
Awesome.
So she's almost a full-time substitute teacher, and she bounces around to all the different schools here in Pulaski. So
Awesome. That's
yeah,
great.
so we know through that, and just being nearby in Suamico. So
Welcome to Pulaski.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
thanks for bringing your business as well as
yeah,
your residents.
yeah.
And then your father is from North Dakota, right?
No, Minnesota, northern Minnesota,
Okay.
close to North Dakota,
Yep,
He's gonna be helping.
getting there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
I'll second his motion to close
Who made
the
it?
floor.
Okay.
Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The public hearing is closed.
I think I was closing the floor. I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Now we're on number 5. A motion to open public hearing for ordinance 548-16, an ordinance amendment to chapter 51 of the zoning code with the addition of section 5131, mobile tower siting regulations. As you know, the last 2 years, the state has passed numerous legislations saying what we can and what we can't do with towers siting, and we're just bringing conformance to the current state laws.
Right, this ordinance is based on a model ordinance that the state, or the League of Municipalities put together. Aaron Schutte also ran some revisions and updates to it earlier this year, and then I've done a couple of these for other municipalities, and it's got my updates and terminology and stuff in it as well, so, but it's all based on the state's recommended model ordinance. And it allows you to regulate certain aspects of cellular tower locations within the village that's permitted within the parameters allowed by the state. So the state has taken over most of the regulations, but they do allow some local regulation, particularly in areas of zoning and height restrictions and what they call a fall zone. So you can regulate that if a tower falls, it has to be designed to fall on its property. So all that's in there.
Awesome. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Thank you.
I'll second. Second by Bob Van.
Chris.
Oh, Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Do the board members have any questions?
This applies to anything that's up on the tower, on the light post too?
No, that's the
No,
next one coming.
that's-
That'll be next month.
Oh,
We have to
okay.
get this one in place first, and then we can do the next one.
Oh, okay,
They're sort of a box set, so
okay.
separate. We got to have this one first.
Is this anything to do with the water tower antennas too, or is it different?
Yeah, this one will have an impact on the water tower use. And I've talked to Bobby a couple times on this. Apparently the folks that last spring wanted to go on the water tower have now apparently found another location in the village that they're looking to purchase their land themselves and put up their own towers. So this would definitely have an impact on that.
Bill, none of the antennas that are up there are affected by this, are they?
No, no.
They can all stay.
Yeah, they can all stay, they won't have to leave, and they're under agreements, so.
Any other questions of the board?
Make a motion, close the public hearing.
Motion by Bob Hamlin.
I'll second that.
Second by Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7, to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of October 3rd, 2016, and dispense with the reading.
So moved.
By Chris,
Second.
by Brian.
Bruce.
Close. My brother's name is Brian. I'm sorry. Yeah, when I get the BR, I get that right. Anyway.
That's right.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 8, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Third time, persons desiring to be heard. There being none. Number 9, we have a request for more than 2 dogs. Ryan and Lindsay Wynn, 127 Memorial Drive, Pulaski, Wisconsin. Could I have a motion to open up the floor?
So moved.
By Bruce,
Second.
by Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Ryan Wynn is in the audience. Ryan?
That's my son Gavin. So, well, thank you all. That I think the letter stated what it was.
I am Hudson.
You're Hudson. So 3 out of the 4 here. But yeah. So and forgive me, Robert's rules and I aren't as close as we should be. Was it a motion to hear us talk or a motion to approve?
That'll come.
Okay, yeah, so I think the letter stated it all, and so we picked her up last night, and so she snuck into our house. And so we've got 6 more days before we're in violation, but of course, we have a plan in place for her to start her training to be a therapy dog. That's for well, my 3rd kid, but my 2nd one's a Cub Scout.
I'm 5.
Yes, you're 5. You're 5 years old.
5-year-old.
Yeah. What's your doggy's name?
Heidi.
Heidi. What's your nickname?
Spider Girl.
Yes. But yeah, so does anyone have any questions? I'd be happy to address them. We have a whole plan in place I could go into, but I talked about it a week ago.
The 5 people that signed the waiver, is this pretty inclusive of your area there?
Yeah, behind me. Your stormtrooper. The road behind me is Memorial Park. Across the street, there's a lot, and then there's a vacant house. So I went 2 houses in each direction where there were people. And then I thought beyond that, I could have kept going, but I thought, well, I pretty much only talk to them when I trick or treat, so.
That the motion to close the floor?
So moved.
By Roger?
I'll second.
Chris? All in favor?
Aye.
Could I have a motion to approve the 3rd dog?
So moved.
By Roger?
Second.
Second by Bob Van Lennon. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you all.
Congratulations on your new puppy.
Yeah. Thank you. You say thank you?
You're welcome.
You all have a wonderful evening.
All right, thank you.
Come on, let me get you home.
Item number 10, the Dakota Committee reports. The Room Tax Commission met on October 12, 2016 at the Greater Green Bay Convention and Visitors Bureau at 1901 South St. United Street, which is actually the Veteran Memorial Arena.
Yes.
That's where they're headquartered. The whole commission was in attendance, and there was a lot of discussion. We learned a lot about what the Greater Green Bay does, and they are the premier advertiser of activities, for our area, and They invited us to be a part of the Green Bay Visitor Convention Bureau, be part of their handouts. They hand out over 60,000 books a year. They want us to align with them, similar to the way Algoma has partnered with them for the last 11 years. And Algoma is very, very pleased with the exposure they get as being a part of that package. And, it looks like it'd be a really, really good fit for our community and our events, and especially helpful to the Polka Days, helpful to be part of the room share program. So we help the hotel out a lot. And they're already partnering quite well with that. And so they had another meeting on the 19th that I wasn't at. And Jim Ressett from the committee can touch on that just a little bit later. The Economic Ad Hoc Committee on September 17th, Chris Smith.
The Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee did meet on October 17th at noon at Premier Bank. The highlights would be, we have reports on some of the projects and prospects of things going on. Gordy Black talked about the Red Raider Field of Dreams and an update on that. We also heard that the canning factory had been sold to Alpha Automotive, which is good. And then an update on Memorial Park from Doug. But then we had an update on the Franciscan Friars printing building with the involvement of the press conference regarding that and the $300,000 that that Brown County is willing to lend to Pulaski for the library to be moved into that building. Our next discussion will have to be about fundraising in order for that to be accomplished. We also had discussion on residential development as far as homes are concerned regarding the many employers that are hiring in the village, and so we had a discussion on that, and that will continue. And then we welcomed Lynette Kuhn. She's opening the Great Blue Horizon, or Heroines Bargains consignment, and that's in the Van Aston building. So she attended our meeting as well. Our next meeting will be on Monday, December 19th at noon at Premier.
Premier of Glenbrook. Glenbrook first.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be at Glenbrook, yeah.
It's going to be at Glenbrook.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I didn't read that. I was thinking, oh, yeah, that's right, because the school system is going to sponsor lunch. So, anyways, that's that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Continuing on, the committee of the whole held a budget workshop number 1 on October 17th, 2016. And basically that was just a review of current standings and getting a handle on the areas where we may have to budget more for the next year. But all in all, our budget looks pretty healthy. We don't have too much variance that we have to deal with. So there's really nothing hard and fast to report other than We also need to consider and approve a payment request of the Tri-County Fire Department for their third quarter 2016 fire runs in the amount of $2,322.90.
I'll make that motion.
By Doug,
Second.
second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The Room Tax Commission met on October 19th, 2016. And I would ask you to open the floor for Jim.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay. Bruce, and Bob's the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, your floor is yours.
Okay, is Elmore in here too? I didn't see him come in.
No.
Right. We made a unanimous motion, it's a recommendation to the village to contract with the Green Bay Convention and Visitor Bureau for the purpose of promoting the Pulaski area, in particular Pulaski. Not just as a tourism thing, but as a destination, a place we want visitors to come. And I think when you see the circulation of that book, 60,000, and here, by the way, is the article that the President had referenced. I'll just pass this. You can't get that type of advertising going out to 60,000 visitors for the amount of money we have. It's a very, very good deal. So our recommendation is that we come up with an agreement that that this be used then for marketing and promotion through their entity, and by having that connection, we're also connected into other opportunities such as with Packer Nation. They're going to open doors for us, so that's why it was unanimous. I defer also to Bruce, if you would like to add. I know Bruce was there, and he may have some thoughts, but I think again, the Room Tax Commission is advisory to the village board, so we cannot adopt this agreement. It is yours to adopt or not, as we understand the statute.
Yeah, I think the bang for the buck, I think it's definitely the way to go. With the books, the website, the calendar of events that they have is phenomenal. Brad told them actually 4 other people from there came out on last Tuesday, met myself and Tammy at the Historical Society, went through that, and they wanted really interested in the church, and they thought that was the cat's meow right there. So, and then we went to Sprava's and they looked at some other places, but we're gonna try to get them some pictures of polka days to get in their book. And then they were looking for pictures of like snowmobilers off the trail, either by restaurants or by gas stations, to say that we have that out here too. So they were pretty excited about it.
Bill, I know
Yeah.
you need to touch
Yeah,
on this a little bit.
actually, the Room Tax Commission is autonomous from the village, it's a separate legal entity. And if you look at the agreement itself, it's actually drafted so that it's for signature by the Room Tax Commission. So the village's approval is actually kind of just the reverse of what you said. It's sort of advisory back to the commission. You actually wouldn't even have to bring it to the board, but it's fine that you did. I did take a look at the agreement. I don't see any issues with it. And I drafted a resolution for the Room Tax Commission to approve it. So, and now it sounds like you guys already did approve it, so I'll get you the resolution so you have it for the record that will authorize you to sign the agreement and get it back to them whenever you get to it. So, but again, the Room Tax Commission is, because it's a commission, not a committee, it's separate and distinct from the village and operates on its own, but reports back to the village as to what's going on a regular basis. So it's whether the commission goes with the Green Bay or not, it's up to them. You know, obviously, if you said no, they would probably take that into consideration as well. But it's basically their call. So, and I did take a look at the agreement. One of the concerns that I've had with these types of things is that to make certain that Some of the room tax money that's collected here stays here, and that's provided in the agreement. There's a percentage breakdown of where the funds go, and there is still a significant portion of the room tax money that stays here for the commission's use in promoting the village on its own, or using it to help promote like polka days and those kinds of things that are in the farmer's market and that kind of stuff. You can use those funds to help promote that.
Yes, I have a couple one question anyway. We got here 25% of the room tax money goes to the Greater Green Bay Convention and Visitors Bureau. And when I read this marketing agreement, I see 8% going there. I'm trying to understand, what am I missing here?
It's confusing because it's 2 of the 8, thus 25%.
Yeah, they take the 25% right off the top, and then comes down from there.
You
We need
explained
a
it
pie
good,
chart. We
Jim,
need
when you had $1 and you had it all broken apart with $1. Yeah, with the 25% to the, 30% to the village, 30 cents out of the dollar to the village. And then the 25% to the Greater Green Bay Convention Bureau. And then 45 cents would be left for the room tax commission.
Is the 8% of revenues?
He was an
That they
expert on
collect
that, and so
at the
was Al
hotel.
Moran.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, the
Right.
8% is the amount of the tax, so like sales
Yep.
tax is 5%, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So 8% is the room tax that's added on to the bill when somebody checks into the hotel. So they pay their other fees and state taxes, and then they also pay the village 8% of whatever their nightly room tax rate was, or room rate was.
And then of that 8%, it's broken down 25% to this agreement, and then the remaining 75% is split
30
between.
to 45.
Yeah, 30 to the
Yep.
village, 45 to the commission.
And the 30% is provided by statute. The other 70%, the Rooms Tax Commission can do whatever it wants with. So they're committing 25% of the total, or 25 cents out of that dollar to the Convention Bureau.
And the 30 cents that the village gets, they can use for
Yeah, that
whatever.
goes into the general fund,
Right.
and the way it's set up, the way Jody has it set up, is that there's a segregated fund. So when that money comes in, 30% goes into the general fund, 70% goes into the segregated fund for the room tax. And then out of that comes the 25% that goes to the Bureau.
So a question for both you, Jim, and Bruce, maybe. So being in this magazine gives an opportunity for some of our local businesses and attractions. Did you get the feeling that also being part of this agreement will keep our hotel full for all these major events that are happening right up the street?
Yes, and he kind of even mentioned that a lot of hotels are already pushing ROA to come to Pulaski if they're full. So
That's
it's
awesome.
Shauna will send people here.
Yeah, Channel 2, yeah.
Packer games every weekend, there's overflow. But what we would really, we talked about this at the last meeting, and it's not only good to put, quote, heads in beds in shoulder off seasons, but it's also good for the community because you get more activity and money flowing.
Turnover.
And so we talked about maybe we need some additional events. Pulaski Polka Days is great, but it's one great big one, and then we have a bunch of little ones, and maybe we could make some of those into bigger events that attract people from a distance. Plus, we have some assets now like the Mountain Bay Trail. Our park system is fantastic. Good work, Joel. And that attracts a lot of people to the community. And what we need to do is leverage their visiting into spending and also to staying at the motel, and then we'll capture a lot of that money then. So the attractions that we have are some of the things we already use. The Mountain Bay Trail, a new event, some of our heritage, the Polish and Old World heritage can be translated into visitor attractions. And so those are the things we're talking about early on. We've only had a couple meetings. And by the way, Mary Wickman is our chair, and she sends her regrets she could not be here.
She's out of state.
But thank you for the time, and if there are any other questions, Bruce and I will try to take them, otherwise I'll sit down.
Thank you.
So is Al planning on expanding the hotel?
I can't speak for Al on that, but
I think
Al
it's
is,
been busy.
Yeah.
Al is an entrepreneur, and it's a pleasure to work with him, because he's got a lot of good ideas. So.
Can I have a motion to close the floor?
So moved.
By Roger.
Second.
By Bob. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
We don't even need to vote on this, apparently, though.
You can. You certainly can.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve the marketing agreement or that they enter into?
I'll make that motion.
By Bob Gieske,
I'll second.
second by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, the Planning and Zoning Commission met on October 19th, 2016. And as a result of that, we have an item, consider to approve a preliminary subdivision plat for Marquise Industrial Park, BP 4001, BP 1003, and BP 1046, Pulaski, Wisconsin 54162, property owner Marquis Yachts, 790 Markham Drive, Pulaski, Wisconsin 54162. The applicant is Dennis Ream, Robert E. Lee Schultz, 1250 Centennial Center Boulevard, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dennis Ream from Robert E. Lee is in the audience if you have any questions. Basically, they're taking the shoe factory area of Carver and parceling it out. Is that the best way to say it, Dennis?
Yes, and the 5 individual lots. And in addition to the 5 lots, there's 1 outlot. And an outlot is considered to be a non-buildable lot. There cannot be a structure on it unless the owners of the property would come back before planning and zoning and request that it be changed as a lot. But the reason for the outlot is so that when the semis pull down the alley or pull down the street, they have to have a turnaround, and that's the purpose of this outlot.
This property, is this directly north of like Dairy Queen and Pulaski Food and Gas?
I think
Across the highway from
It's
there?
everything north of the highway and everything east of the highway.
Okay.
It's a big triangle.
Wow.
One building is sold though, right? Back there?
I don't know.
Lot 1 is already sold,
Lot 1, okay.
so.
Can we go back to that outlot? Who owns the outlot then?
Marquis is gonna retain the ownership of the
Retain, okay.
outlot.
So then they then they maintain it. Okay.
And
they're also
basically,
gonna
that
retain
outlot,
owner-
if you looked at the plat, the outlot is basically what used to be First Street. Or First Avenue.
No, that had to be changed.
Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
If you put it in between.
The outlot is way up in the northeast corner of the development. Here's Highway 32 as it comes through. And the outlot, right in this area is where they load up the boats from this building. So the truck has to come down here, turn around, and then it goes back out. And there's going to be an easement down the existing, or the future property line, and that easement is for access and utilities and everything like that. And Marquis is going to be the person, or the company, that has all the maintenance rights to that easement. But the ownership, there's a 30-foot ownership that's going to be attached to Lot 2, and there's a 30-foot frontage that'll be part of Lot 5. And the reason we ended up doing that is because then it meets the village's platting regulations, their zoning regulations, for the minimum of 30 feet on a frontage road, and it meets all of the lot area requirements. Before, we were going to do outlots in the alley, and Marquis was going to retain those, but the planning and zoning had an issue with that because some of the lots didn't have public frontage on a street. So we changed it so that they do have frontage on a street, and now it meets all the zoning.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the preliminary subdivision plat.
So move, Reed.
By Roger,
Second.
second by Bob Gieske. All in favor?
Aye.
This is closed, motion carried. Committee of the whole budget workshop number 2 was held on October 25th, 2016, and there's nothing that needs to be voted on as a result of that. We need to consider to approve payment request of Gold Cross Ambulance Service for the amount of $14,550.81. That's NEW subsidy fourth quarter 2016.
So moved.
By Bruce.
Second.
Second by Bob Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11, to consider to approve and adopt ordinance 547-16. Planning and zoning recommended approval of ordinance 547-16. That is the
Rezoning
rezoning
of the old village
of the
hall.
old village hall.
I'll make that motion.
By Bob,
Second.
second by Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider and approve adopt ordinance 548-16. That is the cell tower ordinance.
So moved.
By Doug,
Second.
second by Bob Van Lannen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 13, payment request Robert E. Lee and Associates Incorporated as per Paul Welter of Robert E. Lee and Associates. Invoice 71-247, miscellaneous in the amount of $221.50. 71248, Corporate Way Lift Station upgrade in the amount of $2,236.71. Invoice 71249, Cashmere Street Design and Construction, $914.50. And 71250, Police Edition, in the amount of $612.50.
I'll make one. Dave.
By Bob Van Lannen. Second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This is gonna happen more and more.
That's
Item 14, payment request number 3, partial from PTS Contractors Incorporated for the 2016 Corporate Way Lift Station replacement in the amount of $59,441.22.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Roger,
I'll second.
Bob Gieske, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Payment request, final, the shoe construction in the amount of $147,777.19. Contract 295-16-001, Village Hall Addition Phase 3 of the police station.
Reed, this needs to be approved contingent on receipt of final lien waivers and certificate of insurance for the continuing insurance over the next year.
Whatever you just said. I thought that was part of the documents I looked at.
It was in the cover letter that I sent. I have not received that yet. So basically, it's basically approve this, do not release the check till you hear from me that that's all been received.
Everything's done the way you need it?
We still got some issues, but it's part of the...
Okay. I'll make that motion.
With the contingencies is
What he said.
I'll second.
Bruce was first.
Yep.
Bob second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That did come in under budget, just so that you all,
Awesome.
16, request proposal for design and build of shelter, for a shelter at Memorial Park to be completed by April 15th, 2015. And what you're doing here is giving us approval to advertise this in the paper, basically because we know it's going to be in excess of 25,000. And we need to follow the state mandates judiciously.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Who was the second?
Bob.
Bob. Okay, Lennon. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 17. Again, request for proposal to build a building that would house the bathrooms at Community Park to be completed by April 15th, 2017. And now I need Joel to help tell us what we're doing.
What we talked about is running underground plumbing and concrete work. There's a little, with the time frame that we're in now, concrete work may be a little tough to get done this year. We'll try to. Brian Van Asten was willing to help rough the plumbing in.
So we're going to try to get that done in the next 2 weeks.
So then the proposal is for us to build, or
No,
this is,
we're going to
okay.
do this and then have, build the shelter,
Awesome.
the
Okay.
shell.
Well, we're gonna do the tough part.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll make that motion to,
And again, that's to allow us to bid this as well.
Mhm.
I'll second.
Doug and Chris was the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I just think that we just need to get them bathrooms done. This is just almost giving us a black eye. We've got this big building that can't be used unless you rent porta potties.
We got good weather now, so.
for a week.
Item number 18, to approve special event permit applications for wine tasting events, Plants of Distinction LLC, 162 West Pulaski Street. John M. Strew for Thursday, November 10th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Thursday, December 8th, 2016, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So move.
By Roger,
I'll second it.
by Bob Gieske. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 19, to consider approved operator bartender license applications ending in 6/30 of 2018. May 4. Amanda Zuliger has her certificate for cobblestone. Shane K. Ingalls has not had the beverage server, and this looks like that's 104 South Wisconsin.
Rustic Ridge.
Okay.
That's going to be coming in front of the board at the December 5th board meeting. They applied for the liquor license. with his
Jennifer
wife, Cindy.
L. Smith Herter has her beverage course in Mountain Bay Coffee. This is the location. And Emily R. Johnson, again, has online certificates, and that's also Mountain Bay. And all of them should be contingent on the approval of the chief. Bob makes a motion.
Yeah.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 20, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Paul, you're the one in the...
If I could say something.
Yes.
There was some recommendations of keeping the Halloween trick-or-treating on the weekend, as well as trying to do it on the traditional 31st. So it seemed that the younger families loved the opportunity to get out with their kids, but then there was many families that I don't believe were all from Pulaski, but community hoppers.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful weather. Thank you for letting me entertain that opportunity. So.
You don't mind saying who made that motion?
You don't try it, you're not gonna know.
Yep.
I did have people say that they saw more, an unusual amount of all the toners.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing, I only had 2 kids show up. I must live on the wrong side of the track. Next is department reports, Public Works.
Leaf collection will go until snow flies.
Okay.
Also, Harders has a new driver for recycling. There's been a lot of mix-up. They've been good on coming back the following day. And so if you got questions, either call me or Harders. And they did purchase a brand new garbage truck, so hopefully that helps.
When it doesn't
That
leak.
they'll use here.
Yeah.
I actually saw it in town on
Monday was his very first day in it.
Yeah,
So-
I went by my place.
There's always glass left somewhere.
anything else?
Nope, that's it. I got one for the next one though.
Sewer and Water Department.
Tom wanted me to bring up, he's interested in buying some 48-inch orange construction barrels that you see on the side of the road. He's looking at 50. By buying 50, it allows him, or they will not charge freight, and the price will be $51 each with the weight. A barrel itself without the weight is anywhere from $60 to $85. So he wanted me to bring this up tonight.
On one of your bigger projects, so I'm picturing it for like a break or
A
something.
water break. I don't know if you remember a while ago, we're out on Corporate Way for 3 days, 36 hours, day and a half. If we're gonna, sometimes we do projects where we do have to block the road for overnight.
Yeah.
And I think, these are what we would use to block that road. They're better than a
Small
cone.
cones
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Right.
They have a light on them?
They're, these are without the light, but the barrels are retro reflective.
Okay.
For a project like that, are you guessing 20 barrels or would 50 be handy for a situation like that?
The reason he was looking at 50, they will not charge freight.
Yeah.
If you break it down,
Afraid it'd be pretty expensive.
freight on
Because
those
of
barrels
bulk size.
are very expensive.
Uh-huh.
So if we buy 50, they won't charge us freight.
Okay.
Do
But
we have-
is that 20 maybe on a big 36-hour project like that?
Depends, like there we had to block off pretty much the whole intersection all 4 ways. So,
It doesn't take long to add up to 50.
Right.
around here.
Sure. Is there an opportunity to sell a few barrels to a local community? Seymour,
Bondwell,
Bondwell?
possibly.
Okay.
And over the course of time, they obviously get hit,
Yeah.
get weathered. There is that opportunity. I don't think Tom entertained that, obviously, but
Piggyback with somebody else, see if they're interested or.
Do we have storage for those?
I think he was planning on keeping it in his shop, at his shop. Currently, we buy a couple hundred cones a year. I think he's looking at buying less cones and
More barrels.
these barrels.
Could you take some off of 41?
They're free.
Just saying.
We're just laying there.
Take the sticker off your truck before you do that.
I think it would be a good investment for us, because if we don't buy them now, we're gonna buy them later on. And the village is growing and there'll be more projects, so,
You're granted maybe nonstop projects,
right.
I just don't want to see another orange barrel.
Well, then don't go.
Me either.
No, I lost my question, sorry. Oh, do you have any idea what the freight would cost?
I do not. This is the quote he got, that he gave to me. I don't have an idea on what the freight would
Oh,
be.
okay, I was just wondering, but if it was really significant or,
I can have him
I have
check
no
into
idea,
it.
no, don't worry about it, I just was curious if you had that
Once you get
breakdown.
a semi involved, you're talking usually a couple $100.
depending on weight.
On the lake
and
side, yeah.
Size and
I know
how they pack it.
we just bought an impeller for a leaf vac, just for the impeller, which is, on a small skid, was $180
For freight.
for freight. Cool. And that came from Milwaukee.
Yeah, I know it depends on where it's coming from, what size it is, and
Freight is definitely not going down in price.
I'm sure Tom checked into
Yeah.
buying lesser amounts to come out.
And he did tell me that to get a barrel without the weight is $60 to $85. He looked anywhere, you can get them for 60. These will be $51 with the weight.
Oh, it's
For the way you'd be picking them up on the road
Oh,
and
God,
doing
yeah.
accident reports.
Yeah.
right.
Do you need a motion to
I
approve
don't
this? or-
think so, because if he's got enough money left in his budget, he should go ahead, I would think.
Okay.
Jody, you got money in it?
He wants to kind of split it between the utilities. We talked about it a little bit, so.
And I think it'd be fair for storm sewer to kick in, because we will also use them on, like the Rosemary Drive, we would've used them.
Right, you sure did.
All right.
We'll just work that through the available monies and get it done. Police Department, Mark?
Just been busy with a lot of drug arrests. We had 3 of them in the last week. These are all new ones, so the guys are working hard at it and picking this stuff off one by one, but
Our evidence pen is full.
evidence pen, it is full to the max we can get into it. I can't put any more on it. But we'll just move forward with it. Hopefully the crashed vehicles, the district attorney will make a ruling on that within the next 30 days. Then I'll be able to release the motorcycle and one car to the insurance companies, and that'll free up a space for the next.
If you all saw that sky-high pickup truck for sale over by the old Soljeski, Mark, explain what that is.
Yeah, we seized that vehicle. It was in a commission of a burglary, involved weapons from a residential. And because you used it in the commission of a felony, we took the vehicle. The guy just purchased it like 3 weeks before it was used in the commission of a burglary. The vehicle is ours. After we finished up with court, I had Bill take a look at it. We're going to figure out how the money has to be dispersed, because there's some regulations by the state, but irregardless, we're going to take the best bid on it now. The district attorney's office fixed us up with the proper titling for the vehicle, so the title in the village of Pulaski's name just for resale purpose only. And now we're $3,000 minimum bid on it, and whatever we make on that vehicle is going to go into the general fund, and maybe it'll fund some bathrooms, I don't know.
Maybe it'll buy a panel for a toilet.
Would that be
Or
good
some
deal?
barrels. Or some barrels. But seriously, it's money that, that we wouldn't have had if we didn't seize the vehicle.
And we are getting aggressive about that,
I had a call the other night, one of the officers called and asked if they should seize another one, because we had an opportunity. It was, a possession with intent to deliver charge, so that I could seize the vehicle on, and I kind of have to take a look and see if there's money owed in the vehicle. Number one, that's first thing. Number two is if it's a new vehicle worth something, then we seize it. This was an older model Saturn, and I looked at the age of it and what we were going to get for it, and the amount of paperwork and contacting Bill to do the titling, it probably wasn't worth my time seizing it. But if it had been a 2016 Cadillac or something like that, there's a good possibility we would have seized that vehicle, because we could have used it for our personal use. So.
You think Tillman could use that truck for?
Let's stay away from that. I think that would cause more injuries getting in.
He almost fell out of it. I saw him try to get out.
Yeah, we'd probably do a workman's comp. Again.
Karen and Jody, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
All right, communications, the presidential partisan election is Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. The polls will open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Pulaski Village Hall. The Room Tax Commission meeting is Thursday, the 10th at 12 noon at Pulaski Village Hall. Planning and Zoning Commission will be held at November 16th at 6 p.m. at Pulaski Village Hall. And we need to schedule a time for the regular board meeting for December 5th, 2016.
6 o'clock?
6 p.m.
Works.
All in agreement? It will be 6 p.m. We've got to schedule a committee of the whole / budget meeting for November of 2016. And I think we need to give Karen a little break to recover from the election. And can we possibly have it on the 15th or the 22nd?
15th is a little tough for me, but I could make it work.
Yeah, I think I got iPad pickup for one of the kids on the 15th.
22nd work better?
22nd, I think would be okay.
Okay.
We're probably going to need another one that we can set up then on the 22nd and have it like the following week. Because then the public hearing on the budget will be on Monday, December 5th. And then we can pass the budget that night. So you probably will need another meeting, more than likely. And if we don't, that's fine, but I think you're gonna need to have 2.
Well, if we can get all the right numbers plugged in on the 22nd, I think that should be
Is that
doable.
5 o'clock?
That's the
5
week
o'clock.
of Thanksgiving. Is anybody gonna be gone? Hunters?
I don't hunt.
Can't hunt in the dark.
That's true.
That's right.
You can't hunt in the dark.
No, you may not be
Unless
sure.
you're 15 hours away.
Are you the only one? You hunt, don't you? No?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Apparently,
You're in the
doesn't
woods.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can take your gun though.
Yeah, that's fine for me. The following week might be kind of tough. The 30th, like that Wednesday, might be a possibility, or like the 1st. I've got some training the 28th, 29th, and then Thursday is a half a day.
The 1st, we have court.
Okay.
Yeah, it's busy with pre-trials at 3 and then initial court appearances at 5,
So
so.
like the 30th, a Wednesday might work that following week.
We'll run through something.
Okay.
Look at it for the 22nd. 5 o'clock on the 22nd?
Yes.
Okay.
That, motion to adjourn would be in order.
Make that motion?
By Bruce. Second by Bob Van Lannen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Yeah, I just hunt